Hello everyone and thank you for joining me. Today I'll be presenting a critical analysis of The Family Book by Todd Parr, a warm, colorful picture book that celebrates every kind of family. Parr's story reminds us that families may look different, but love and care and belonging are what truly defines them. In this presentation, I'll explore how Parr's book challenges stereotypes, promotes inclusion and supports social justice in early childhood education. I'll draw on key frameworks including intersectionality, anti-bias education, and social justice pedagogy, and I'll show how the family book aligns with the Early Years Learning Framework version 2.0 and the National Quality Standards. Through these lenses, we'll see how this story fosters empathy, identity, and fairness for all children.
Parr's illustrations completely reject the idea that there is a normal family. Instead, he offers a rainbow of families, some with two fathers, some with grandparents as carers, some living apart, and some looking nothing alike. His use of bright colors instead of realistic skin tones tells children that difference is not just acceptable, it's beautiful. This message reflects the EYLF principle of respect for diversity, reminding educators to value each child's background. In many Australian services, book collections still overrepresent white, middle class families. Past book challenges that monocultural bookshelf by including everyone. When children see themselves reflected in the stories around them, they gain confidence and sense of belonging. For children whose families are rarely seen in books, for example, same sex or blended families, this validation is powerful. For others, it expands their understanding of what families can look like. Either way, it teaches that love and connection, not appearance or structure, define what makes a family. For many decades, children looks presented one narrow image of family life, a white, middle-class, two-parent home. Parr's book disrupts that pattern completely. He normalizes differences by showing that every family is unique but all are united by love. This connects strongly with the anti-bias educational framework by Derman Sparks and Edwards, which focuses on helping children build positive identity, appreciate diversity, recognize unfairness, and act with justice. Parr's powerful act and simple statements like "some families look the same and some look different" open doors to meaningful conversation about acceptance. However, because these families are drawn in abstract rainbow colors, there is a small risk that the message becomes color blind. That's where educators step in. By guiding discussion and adding culturally grounded stories, teachers can ensure that children recognize and respect real world diversity. Through an intersectional lens, we can also see how family diversity overlaps with other experiences, such as race, disability, and culture, shaping how children perceive themselves and others. Our story is full of opportunities for promoting equity and inclusion. It aligns closely with Article 2 and 12 of the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child, which focuses on non discrimination and the right to be heard. The line, "all families like to celebrate special days together," opens up space for children to share how their families celebrate, maybe birthdays, Diwalis, Eid, or Chinese New Year. These conversations help children learn that fairness means recognizing everyone's traditions. In practice, educators can invite families to share photos, recipes, or cultural stories that connect to the book. This supports EYLF outcome 1 and 2, building a sense of identity and connection to community. The links directly to NQS Quality Areas 1 and 6, which emphasize inclusive programs and partnerships with families. As Kennedy highlights, social justice isn't an event or a topic, it's a daily mindset. Every book we choose, every word we use, sends a message about who belongs. Past story reminds us that everyone does. One of the strongest features of the family book is its optimism. Every family is shown with capability and joy, mirroring the EYLF strength based approach. Parr's view diversity as a resource, not a challenge. When children see their families depicted with pride, they build confidence and learn to appreciate others' experiences. For educators, the message is clear. move beyond deficit thinking, and plan learning around the strengths each family brings to the community.
So, how can educators use the family book in their programs? There are many possibilities. Family collage or drawing. Invite children to draw or collage their family members and describe what makes them special. Family wall display. Include photos of children families with greetings written in their home languages. This recognizes linguistic diversity. Story pairing. Combine this book with cultural texts like Cuckoo Kookaburra by Greg Drift to deepen respect for Aboriginal storytelling. Dramatic play. Provide dolls, props, and cultural materials that represent a variety of homes and caregivers. Discussion time. Ask reflective questions like what makes your family special or what do families do to care for each other. According to the Education Hub, authentic inclusion happens when diversity is part of everyday routines, not limited to special occasions like Harmony Days. Using Pa's book in this way helps children learn empathy and fairness naturally through joyful play and conversation. Several frameworks deepen our understanding of Par's message. Intersectionality helps educators recognize that a child's family form, culture, and ability intersect to shape experiences. Anti-bias education offers four goals: identity, diversity, justice, and action, all present in the family book. And social justice pedagogy, grounded in Freire's idea of education as liberation, positions teaching as a way to empower children to question unfairness and care for others. Together, these frameworks show that inclusive storytelling is not just entertainment, it's a form of advocacy that builds empathy and critical awareness from the earliest years. While Parr's book promotes inclusion, educators must avoid tokenism. Activities that look diverse but lack depth, like one of dress-up days. The Education Hub warns that these tourism approaches can exoticize culture instead of valuing it. True inclusion means long-term relationships with families and consistent representation of their voices. Educators can co-design learning by inviting families to share stories or songs, display everyday items from home, or add multilingual labels to classroom spaces. What reminds us that real inclusion is sustained through relationships. It's about everyday authenticity, not celebration week. A socially just classroom begins with reflective educators. The ECA Code of Ethics calls us to challenge bias and respect each child's rights. Regularly reviewing book collections helps uncover whose stories are missing. Adam and Barrett note that monocultural collections remain common, often by habit rather than intent. Reflection also involves personal awareness, acknowledging our assumptions and privilege is asking, how does my perspective influence my teaching? By modeling curiosity, empathy, and fairness, educators show children what inclusion looks like in action. When they see their teachers treating all families equally, they learn to do the same. In summary, the family book turns a simple concept into a social justice message. Every family is special. It celebrates difference, fosters belonging, and challenges stereotypes. The story aligns closely with EYLF version 2.0, the NQS, and the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. When educators use it thoughtfully, through reflective dialogue and collaboration with families, it becomes more than a story. It becomes a catalyst for inclusion. Par's cheerful art making these ideas accessible to young children, teaching that fairness and kindness start with understanding others. As Kennedy says, social justice begins with the choices we make every day. Even the book we read aloud. By sharing this book, educators help children grow into compassionate, confident, and inclusive citizens. Thank you.